Cuenta la leyenda que si le das like ahora mismo a este vídeo, este niño de aquí será tu mejor amigo. ¿A que sí? Hola chicos, soy Joeman de Joeman Show. Aquí tengo, 11, 12 años. Hola, ¿qué tal? Dale like, comparte este vídeo, ¿vale? Soy tu mejor amigo. ¿Cómo pasa el tiempo? Me acuerdo que ayer estaba, haciendo la comunión. ¿Y cómo pasa el tiempo, chicos? Cada vez pasa mucho más rápido. Así que, una recomendación. Disfruta de la vida lo máximo que puedas. Hola chicos, soy Human, bienvenidos a mi canal, a vuestro canal. Bienvenidos un día más a vuestro canal Creepy. Mi familia Creepy, recuerden, muy importante, que en el canal tenemos un sorteo activo de muchas cosas creepy de esta habitación maldita. Por ejemplo, en el sorteo estará nada más y nada menos que este Sam de la otra tierra, ¿vale? También con la Ouija de Joeman Show, máscara de Jane the Killer, discípulo de Bill Cipher y muchas cosas más. Para participar en este sorteo tienes que ser miembro del canal, o cuando haga un directo, si haces alguna donación, pues también vale, es decir, que te voy a apuntar. Por ejemplo, mañana, martes, voy a hacer un directo bastante creepy, así que te espero. Y si quieres ser miembro o hacer alguna donación, pues bueno, lo puedes hacer mañana para que salgas en pantalla. Y para la gente que no pueda hacer donación y tampoco puede ser miembro del canal, no se preocupen, porque después de este mega sorteo, ¿vale? De este sorteo de la caja creepy con muchas cosas aquí de la habitación, voy a hacer otro sorteo, bueno, un poquito más suave, ¿vale? Pero para toda clase de personas de este canal, ¿vale? Así que, eso. De todas formas, recuerda que si no puedes apoyar este canal siendo miembro o haciendo alguna donación, no pasa nada, ¿vale? Puedes darle like a los vídeos y los puedes compartir, que eso también ayuda muchísimo. Chicos, ¿se acuerdan de este vídeo?
She was running as quickly as she could manage, wild eyes staring right into mine, screaming the whole way.
La va a pillar, ¿eh? Tiene pinta que la pilla, ¿eh?
Was faster than her.
Pues bien, parece que ha salido la segunda parte. Así que, como hoy es lunes, vamos a estar un poquito tranquilitos y vamos a empezar un poquito suave, ¿vale? Entre comillas, la semana. Pónganse cómodos en el mejor cine creepy del mundo. Un poquito de palomitas, bebida refrescante, apagar las luces y subir el volumen. Vamos todos a disfrutar de esta animación sobre Siren Head. ¡Ah! Esa era la madre, tío, esa era la madre. Vale, este es el chico que después creció, ¿vale? Y fue a la casa de Siren Head, no sé si se acuerdan. Y aquí vemos al perro, el pobrecito, que estaba súper acojonado. ¿Ey? ¿No se lo comió Siren Head?
It's about time. Been wondering if you were gonna wake up at all.
¿Una mujer?
Where?
Recuerden que los subtítulos de YouTube, ¿vale? Hay algunas veces que, bueno, están un poquito hechos polvos. Pero bueno, vamos a intentar comprender lo que pasa.
Right. I guess I never considered it had a gender. It was always just this.
Es decir, que Siren Head los lleva como una especie de cueva y los pone ahí, los suelta ahí, ¿o cómo?
Name's Charlotte. And if it's any consolation, I'm sorry your luck has brought you here.
My name's Jackson. Same to you.
What's your story? Clearly you already know about the Siren Head. Have you had run-ins with him before?
You could say that.
Se podría decir que se llevó a mi mamá. Lo está explicando. El perro es el único sobreviviente por ahora, ¿eh?
I'll admit I've never fully recovered. I mean, I went after the guy with just an axe and a shotgun. How nutty must I have been? Every night for
Estaba
years,
esperando durante años, ¿vale? Para vengarse de Siren Head por lo que le hizo la madre. Si no han visto, chicos, la primera parte de esta animación, lo dejaré abajo en la descripción de este vídeo.
It was Siren Head.
Wow, that all sounds really rough. I know you probably heard it from everyone close to you, but it isn't your fault, Jackson.
Oh, I know it isn't my fault. It's his. Now tell me, How did you find yourself down here?
Mine might not be as tragic as yours, but it is complicated, to say the least.
¿Le va a explicar
In
su
my
historia,
former
vale? La
life, I
historia
was a
de esta
doctor.
mujer antes.
Well, at least I was training to be one. When it all began, I was simply a resident, under the tutelage of the master surgeon, Dr. Vincent Henderson.
Estaba con un maestro
I
cirujano.
respect that man. There was no problem he couldn't fix, big or small. Man, if he wasn't set on fixing everything he could. Luckily, I felt the same way. I thought the two of us could change the world. I would have followed him to the end of the earth. Sometimes, it feels like I did. About 2 years into my residency, he became extremely focused on philanthropic aid. We started
Vale,
taking
la
trips to
mujer, pues,
hospitals in more impoverished areas, volunteering entire
Viajaba, es decir, la
weekends at a
mujer era,
time.
pues, bueno,
He kept pushing
doctora.
me harder, saying that we needed to do
Viajaba mucho,
more. It was
ayudando a la
our
gente y
civic
eso.
duty. I was constantly exhausted. I couldn't catch a break. If it was anybody else, I would have given up and found a new surgeon to study under, but he was so inspiring. I pushed through so much exhaustion and pain for him and for the people we were helping. Invariably, there were patients that we could do nothing for. Either we were too late or they were too sick. Over time, I started to become accustomed to death, as most doctors do.
Vale, con el tiempo se acostumbró a la
But
muerte porque vio a
Vincent took
muchas
it hard
personas
every
morir.
single time. He said it felt like he personally failed them.
El doctor como que
One night, we
Estaba
were
de
closing
bajona.
up his practice, and he pulled a bottle of gin out of his desk drawer. Told me I could stay for a drink if I'd like.
sacó una
And
copa
of course
y
I
empezó.
did. As the
Empezó a
night
tomar.
went on, he got more and more distraught, going on his usual tirade, berating himself for not doing enough. He said that every patient who died in his care was a life that he'd wasted. That stuck out to me. He never said that before. So I tried consoling him, saying that it wasn't up to him what they did with their lives. Then he looked at me intensely and said, "Maybe not, but there is something we can do with their deaths." He had me follow him into an exam room at the back of the practice, pushed a floor-to-ceiling storage
¿una puerta
cabinet
secreta?
aside to reveal a metal door that I'd never seen before.
Milo! Hey, Milo! Where are you, boy?
No, no, perro, que no es él. Que te engaña, que te engaña.
Wow. A secret room.
Una habitación secreta.
What was in there?
The room was a cold storage
Vamos a ver,
unit.
chicos, lo que
I'd never
lo que
known
se
about it
oculta
all my
detrás de
months
esta
of
puerta.
working with him. He unlocked it and ushered me inside.
Lo abrió la puerta y me
I
hizo
remember the
pasar.
shock, mostly. And smell.
Había un mal
There were
olor
4
terrible.
bodies laying on metal exam tables covered
4
in thin
cuerpos
white
acostados en
sheets.
mesas de examen de
Panic
metal.
started to rise and every muscle
Para
in my
examen.
body was ready to run, but a certain curiosity held me back. He walked to the first body and looked at me before lifting the sheet. It was a Caucasian male, about 40, bloated and extremely pale. His skull had been opened and sewn shut again, and there were pins sticking into his scalp.
Es decir, chicos, que ese
There was a
doctor, ese
speaker
médico
in
está
his
medio
mouth,
loco.
stretching his lips
Hay
abnormally
un
wide.
altavoz en su boca.
The second body Vincent uncovered was a Middle Eastern
Lol.
female, no older than 30, who I could tell had been beautiful before she was hacked up.
¿Qué coño?
The third one was very thin, probably someone who suffered from anorexia. She was definitely less bloated than the others, but that could have been because the body was fresher. At this point, my mind was spinning and it felt hard to breathe. Vincent barely
Ugh.
showed any emotion at all, probably just trying to gauge my reaction. He did hesitate slightly before revealing the last body, though.
¡Oh!
I
Un
couldn't tell
Siren Head,
what it
pequeño
had
así, de
been.
nuestra
The
altura.
entire head had been
Este es
removed.
como el
Instead of a
creador.
neck, there was a metal pole sticking out from between the shoulders, and mounted on top of it was a large
flipando,
cone-shaped speaker. More like a megaphone or a siren than a speaker, really. The body was completely emaciated. The skin was leathery, almost like it had been mummified.
I'm gonna stop you right there. This long-winded speech of yours really just boils down to your buddy creating this monster. That's all it is, isn't it?
There's more to it. Really, we...
We? What do you mean, we?
Just listen. Right after he showed me all of that, he explained the project to me. He needed help, he said. The two of us were doing all that we could, but it wasn't enough. There was still enormous suffering, even within our immediate
enganchado a la
community.
historia.
Through this loss of life, he said he could build something useful, bodies to help aid us, if he could reanimate them. This was going to be his greatest achievement, and he asked me to help him. He said he was very close to finishing the project, and he was sure his next one would work, but the operation would be delicate and lengthy. He needed me.
So what? You're in love with this guy, and you just do anything he asks?
It was complicated. I didn't say
Claro,
yes
claro,
right
la
away.
chica
I
le
said I
gustaba
need time
bastante
to
pues
think
el
it
médico
over,
ese
which he
y bueno,
agreed
sé lo
to.
que él,
I knew
lo
it
que él
was
decía.
disrespectful to the people whose bodies he used. I knew it was unnatural. Seriously, kid, I was torn about it. I couldn't sleep at night. My devotion to him and my belief in
No
his
podía
work were
dormir ni
pitted
nada.
against this grotesque and extremely illegal project.
Era un
But he
proyecto
procured a body
ilegal,
just
por
a couple
supuesto.
days later, and when he called on me to step up, I just couldn't refuse.
Procured a body? Jesus, did you never ask where he got them from?
Of course I did. I had a lot of questions. So many that I thought he would accuse me of prying and throw me out of his office, or worse. But he was always patient and answered every question with the same calm logic he used that first night.
Pero a ver,
The bodies were
porque
from a
la
colleague
historia,
of his.
claro,
With the number of people that he helped, he'd won a ridiculous amount of favors and trust in the community.
la
And
historia es
why
una
the
locura, ¿vale? Es
speakers?
una locura.
Oh, the muscles used to create speech are much harder to control than muscles in your arms or legs. These things didn't need to talk much, but if they were going to interact with our patients, they need to speak a little. So the speakers were easier than trying to get their mouths to work.
Joder.
Well, we only accomplished that once. On him.
No me jodas, tío.
I
Mira
wasn't
eso,
even in the
tú.
room for that part. He asked me to step out, but the rest of the operation was grueling. Prepping the body took nearly 20 hours.
Está
And then we
creando
had to
a
remove the
Silent
head,
Hill.
attach the sirens, string
doctor.
wires around, graft muscle onto metal, cover the really gross-looking parts with extra skin. Felt more like an installation than an operation in some ways. We pumped that body full of steroids, had it attached to huge monitors, used electric charges. It was so experimental. I had no idea how he came up with these techniques, if you could even call them that.
So I was right. You made it.
Sure, we both did. I felt conflicted the entire time, but
Yes.
once the thing came to life, you
Claro,
have to understand, I
no
thought
sé
this
si
would
es
only
el
lead to
Silent Hill que
good
nosotros
things,
conocemos
less
o es un
suffering.
prototipo, ¿vale?
I was proud to some extent.
Era como,
At first it seemed to go
como
really
su
well. We
marioneta,
would give
le
it
hacía
simple
caso.
commands and it would listen. We just kept him in his office doing little tasks under supervision. Then, I think, Vincent went back and worked on him a little more without me.
Vale, después regresó
Started
el doctor y trabajó
growing.
en algunas cositas
And by
más.
all laws of logic, that shouldn't
Comenzó a
have
crecer
happened.
según todas
He
las
wasn't
leyes de la
truly,
lógica.
really alive.
Vale, Siren Head creció,
At least at first.
creció, es decir,
He
empezó a crecer
became more
el
violent and
tamaño, ¿no?
hard to
Creo de Siren
control.
Head.
And one day
Se
he
volvió
just
más
broke
violento.
through the wall of the office and ran off.
Wow, es
We
él.
tracked him down to this
Entonces, este
wooded
es el
area,
hombre
and
que
it wasn't
creó a
hard.
Siren
He
Head.
created this path of destruction wherever he went. It wasn't anything like he does now, though. He was only about 10 feet tall at the time. When we found him, he was blundering around in circles and spouting nonsense from his sirens. He seemed confused, honestly. It was all just radio static and the occasional word jumble. Vincent and I tried to talk to him, but he either didn't understand us anymore or didn't care what we were saying. Eventually, Vincent decided he
Siren
was
Head,
a
vale,
lost
está
cause and wanted to
desorientado,
try again with a
no
sixth
sabe lo que
body.
quiere hacer.
But by that point,
Claro,
I
es
was
totalmente nuevo en
thoroughly
este mundo y
horrified at what our
no sabe
creation had
si
become.
el humano
I
es
told him I was
peligroso o
out.
no.
I couldn't continue the
Es
project
una
anymore.
locura.
And I've spent all my years since then tracking Siren Head, trying to figure out how to undo my mistake.
Vale, parece que la chica se va.
Milo, there you are.
Ojo,
Good
ojo,
boy,
mirad qué
Milo.
grande es. Mira las piernas de Siren Head. Hostias. La mano. Ojo. Que parece que no le hace nada al perro.
Do you have any idea what grief you've brought people? I lost my whole family because of this thing. Who knows what it's done to other
Claro, el
people in
hombre
the
le
12
está
years since
diciendo
then.
eso, ¿no? Que
You think I
hay gente
haven't
que ha
thought
perdido la
about
vida
that?
por ser
I
en
spent my
Head,
whole
su
life
madre.
trying to make up for what I did.
How could you create something you had no control over?
But we did! I don't know what Vincent did to it after that first operation. That's what made us lose control.
Le está yendo como la bronca a la
Sounds like
chica,
you're
pero
trying
claro,
to
el
tell
doctor también
yourself
tiene mucha
you're not to
culpa. A ver,
blame. Like you weren't responsible for
el
everything
90%
it's
es idea de
done.
él, digo yo, no sé.
No, that's not true at all.
¡Ey! ¿Un derrumbe en la cueva?
Please, you have to help me.
I don't think so. You killed my mother.
¡No! Continuará, sí chicos, continuará en una parte 3, ¿vale? No sé cuándo el creador va a ser esa parte 3, pero la verdad es que me tiene bastante, pues bueno, enganchado, ¿vale? Ya sabemos quién creó a Siren Head. Y es un loco, un médico, un científico, bueno, una persona que está un poquito, pues, que le falta muchos tornillos en la cabeza. Y por culpa de él, pues, ha pasado lo que ha pasado en todo este tiempo. Sí es verdad, ¿vale? Que el origen de Siren Head son muchos, ¿vale? Porque recuerden que Siren Head es una obra creada de la mente de Trevor Henderson y ya de ahí, pues bueno, mucha gente, pues bueno, le ha dado un origen diferente. Ya cada uno que coja el que más le guste, que para gusto los colores. Este del Doctor está bastante bien, ¿vale? Hace muchísimo tiempo yo me inventé un origen de Slenderman también sobre una especie de doctor que creó Slenderman y es un poquito parecido a esto, ¿vale? Y lo subí al canal. La verdad es que no sé si está por el canal, yo creo que sí, ¿vale? Es uno de los vídeos más antiguos del canal. Y bueno, la verdad es que me recuerda al vídeo ese que hice, ¿vale? Y tiene su cosita, mola. Y nada más chicos, ¿vale? Hasta aquí el vídeo por hoy. Espero que os haya gustado esto. Ya sabemos un poquito más sobre Siren Head. Y muy importante chicos, muy importante porque en estos días regresa la serie de Sony.exe. Hay cosas grabadas, cosas que lo van a flipar en colores. Y bueno, y también por supuesto seguiré investigando para ir en busca del niño perdido del bosque de Siren Head, porque recuerden que bueno, aquí por lo menos en España estamos en fase 3 y ya, entre comillas, ya uno se puede, pues bueno, liberar un poquito y salir a todos lados, eso sí, con precaución, ¿vale? Nada más chicos, ¿vale? De You Show siempre con vosotros, vernos creer, creer es ver. Un abrazo y nada, os quiero. Adiós.